This is a video of hope to the parents and to the children who are currently experiencing or have experienced a similar journey to my own. Hi there, my name is Rebecca and this is my story.
The little girl who celebrated a special birthday today against all the odds. Remarkable achievement, considering doctors didn't expect her to survive after she was born 5 months premature.
It was the first little dress that my mother made her because we just couldn't get anything small enough.
22 weeks premature, Rebecca was just a tiny 480 grams when she was born, the size of a tub of margarine. Her early arrival due to complications with her mother's placenta.
And they said the chances, if she was born alive, the chances of her surviving were extremely small.
When the doctor picked her up, they're moving around, so that gave us a glimmer of hope, but still, it was a long, long road.
Her weight plummeted to 350 grams, her tiny body riddled with complications. Severely underdeveloped lungs, a swollen spleen and kidneys, broken bones, skin infections. She had blood transfusions, even eye surgery. With Lady Luck on her side, Rebecca came back from death's door time and time again. This little fighter simply wouldn't give up.
As you saw from the intro, I was a preemie. I was born at 22 weeks and 2 days gestation in 1995. This video is really me just opening up about my journey and sharing really my family's experience, but like mine, but told through other people. I'm just recounting what other people told me throughout my life, and I'm also able to bring my own spin to it now, being that I am an adult. How being premature has affected, my self-esteem, my relationships, the way that I view my disabilities, myself, like just everything. I think it's important to share a story like this because it's a miracle fact, truly. Like, I was literally a guinea pig. From what I was told, the doctors gave my parents a less than 2% chance of being born alive, let alone surviving and living. My poor mum, bless her heart, she was in labour for a full 7 days. That's rough, I'm so sorry, Mum. But yeah, she was in labour for a full week because they were trying to stop the labour, and they were originally going to do a cesarean, and my mum begged them not to. She was like, please do a scan, just see where she is positioned, and they did, and I was right in the birth canal, in the right, sunny side up or whatever it is, whichever position it is. I don't know, I had a C-section with my child, so I don't know about vaginal delivery. But I was in the perfect position, ready to go, and they were like, if she was full term, this would not be an issue. She's just very stubborn. It's the Aries in me, what can I say? All jokes aside, it truly is such a miracle that I had the right doctors, I had the right nurses and the right team that really wanted to fight for me. They gave my parents the option of, when she's born, if she's alive, do you want to hold her until she passes? Or do you want us to fight, and do you want us to do everything we can to keep her alive for as long as we can? My parents said, no, if she is born alive and she wants to fight, you fight as hard as much as she is. I'm not gonna lie, there were times where I was knocking on death's door. Many, many, many times. They would get a call at 2 a.m. and say, look, things aren't looking good, because my parents were religious. Bring the pastors in, do the death, speech or whatever it is. I'm not, even though I was baptized, I don't partake in any sort of religion, but they really honed in on that, and there were many times where that had to happen, and I somehow bounced back. I'm a fighter. Like us NICU babies are so resilient, and I know now as a NICU mum myself, I went through the NICU experience as well with my own child, and I tell you, she has the same fight, the same determination as I'm sure I did at her age. So yeah, I was born. I obviously didn't cry because I didn't know how to, but all I remember was they lifted me up and my arms and legs just wiggled. Almost a fun little fact in my family, on both sides, my dad and my mum's, they nicknamed me Boo, because Boo as in like a spider, like boo kind of a thing, because I just wiggled. Anyway, so my nickname is like Becky Boo, or just Boo. They took me straight into the NICU, and the journey went from there. I had a lot of skin infections, blood transfusions. I had a swollen spleen and kidney, and I had that right up until I was, I think, 5 years old, and then it started to settle. But I had a swollen spleen and kidney. I had broken bones because whenever they flipped me over to do my care and stuff, which I have seen now with my own child, that's very scary the way they do it, but I know it's to protect the neck and the spine. From that, a couple of times I broke both my legs, or like my thighs, and I think I broke one of my arms as well. And I was oxygen dependent up until I was 3 years old. Because I was intubated for so long, my vocal cords only grew to where the tubes sat, and you know, that's why my voice is very husky and very hoarse, and you know, I can't scream. Like, I literally can't scream. If I project my voice for too long and I speak projected too long, then I get really tired. And before I had vocal cord surgeries in my early 20s, when that would happen, I would actually get dizzy from it and I'd have to like stop talking, just because it did put a lot of strain on my muscles. That form of a disability, and also discrimination, especially during childhood and like my teen years. I got bullied a lot during school, and also just in, you know, the field of like phone speaking and stuff, and they were like, we don't know if you can do this because we can't hear you, or you can't speak loud enough, and it's just really annoying. And then the other thing is that I'm legally blind, so I developed severe retinopathy of prematurity, which short is just RAP, and it is very, very common with preemie babies. The more preemie you are and the like smaller birth weight, the higher risk you are to get it. And I had like stage 3 to 4, I think. Back then they didn't have the newer treatment, whatever it is, they just had typical LASIK, so I had that. I then also had 2 more, I think, or maybe 1 or 2 more eye surgeries, because I had 2 hemorrhages on both eyes, so I had to get that lasered. So I can't get any laser done. Like, literally my ROP specialist was like, I will not touch you unless you are having like a retinal detachment because like your scarring is there, and just the shape of your eyes, and there's just a lot there. So yeah, I'm legally blind, meaning I cannot drive. So yeah, that is another challenge that I deal with on a day-to-day basis from being premature. And obviously, like, this is not to say that I'm not grateful. Obviously I am incredibly grateful that I'm here. I want to just quickly briefly touch on like the psychological parts of me that I've really struggled with being told my whole life, like, you are a miracle, you are meant to be here, you are here for a reason, and all of that. And while that is like fundamentally true, like I am literally a miracle, I think a part of me internalized that and created this like people-pleasing, high expectation kind of standard for myself. And you know, I kind of really took that to heart, and I really wanted to really be the best of the best and make the right decisions and make everybody happy, because I felt that I owed them that by how much stress I put them in, like truly. Yeah, it was a lot. So a part of me feels guilty in that sense, that I put so much stress on them. So I think that's where that kind of, I definitely think that that's where that comes from, that people pleasing and that wanting to, not wanting to disappoint anybody. It's that integrated, like compartmentalized sort of scenario where I'm like, you know, I put so much stress on you, let me make it better, let me make it worth it, in a sense. I think that's really the big takeaway, is like, let me make it, let me make the stress that I put you under worth it. And then in turn, that put a lot of self-doubt on myself and my self-worth and my confidence in myself. So yeah, I've definitely struggled with that over the last, like, really my whole life, but I've really noticed it more in the last few years. And obviously through a lot of therapy, including I've started this year EMDR therapy, so there's a lot of healing there when it comes to, you know, being in the NICU and being so prem, and, you know, feeling all of those guilt kind of, you know, feelings towards that. Yeah, also, there's just a part of me sometimes that feels guilty that, you know, that I put so much stress, that I put so much stress onto my family. You know, I've really been able to start feeling more confident and comfortable in my own skin and in my voice, literally, like in my opinions, my thoughts, my feelings, but also just the quality of my voice and the projection of my voice. My eyes I'm still working through, because I'm usually such an independent person, and I get public transport. I've been doing it since into high school. But, you know, being so independent and having to rely on other people and transport and stuff, that is definitely something that I just still struggle with, especially being a mum now. But, you know, I will work through it. I will definitely work through that. Another thing that I dealt with throughout my childhood from being premature is my ears. So I've always had like hearing issues and stuff. Like I think when I was really little, the reason why I had to do speech therapy and stuff, partially I had a stutter, but also because I couldn't hear because I had severe glue ear. And they didn't really pick that up till I was like 3. So, and then once that was fixed, like I was talking fine. But then like throughout, you know, all of that, like I had grommets in and out, I had constant infections, like, and I'm not just talking like mild infections here and there, they were painful infections. And you know, I haven't had grommets or an infection in like over 10 years, but recently in the last few years, I've developed something called mini ears disease. So it's a hearing loss disorder. You get vertigo, you get, you know, obviously hearing loss, you get so many other symptoms. It's so debilitating, and it has really shaken up my whole system of just like being a human being. Yeah, so that's something that I kind of struggle with, and it's hard to know whether the mini ears is like caused from the prematurity or if it's just from the amount of damage that my ears have taken from the you know what I mean? Like if it's a domino effect or not. I'm obviously incredibly thankful for the nurses and doctors that saved my life. And you know, funnily enough, the hospital that I was born at, I actually got to, you know, in my own pregnancy, I got to see a high risk OB. I was automatically put at high risk with my pregnancy. I did do a pregnancy in-depth video if you want to see that. But my daughter was also prem, so she also spent about 4 months in the NICU. I spent about 6 months plus in NICU, but she still spent 4 months. That journey was something that I do not wish on anybody. On my worst enemy, I do not wish a NICU journey at all. You know, my mum and I, and my parents in general, we've really bonded, unfortunately, over our experience of being in the NICU and being NICU parents, and also being long-term NICU parents. It's not just like a couple of weeks or 8 weeks. It's, you know, it's a full, like, most of their, you know, mine and my daughter's first few months of life. And we, you know, I was actually speaking about it to my mum the other week of being like, you know, I felt really robbed, and she feels the same. She felt robbed of, you know, the newborn stage and the newborn first putting them on your chest. Like, neither of us got that experience, and a part of me feels guilty for doing that, and I hope that my daughter doesn't feel that one day, because our circumstances are quite different. Being able to connect more with both of my parents because of the shared experience, but also I wish that I didn't have the experience, and my parents did not wish that for me either. But unfortunately, it's kind of the cards that we were dealt with. So I feel like that might be where I'm gonna end, you know, this video. I truly hope that whoever's watching this gets something out of it. You know, whether that's, you know, finding out something new, or just feeling inspired, or feeling like, you know, that there is hope out there for just really anything, medicine especially. You know, I actually saw an article today. Well, it wasn't an article, but it was like a post, you know, sharing like preemie stuff. You know, I say all the time, I've been a guinea pig since birth. I'm more than happy to continue that if need be. Like, I truly want to put my place in the world, and you know, if I have to be guinea pigs for other surgeries and things like that, then so be it. Like, I'm down for that, because I think because I'm such a believer in medicine and in the incredible hard work that nurses, especially NICU nurses, and I know what they are doing now because being a NICU mum myself, I see how hard they work, and I see how hard and how much they love our babies just as much as we do. And it's so heartwarming, and it truly makes, at least for me, it made the NICU experience a little bit more bearable. Not hugely, because we're still horrible, but you really kind of feel like a family in a sense, because you do bond a lot. You know, and like there are some NICU moments that I will always cherish as beautiful memories, even in such a dark, rough time. So I'm going to leave that here. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.